Don't all go at once, guys.
We'll get started with Paul Friesen from the Winnipeg Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
Hey, Andrew. What's it going to be like dealing with all the players in and out for COVID protocol and never being quite sure from one day to the next who's in?
Gonna be interesting, but that's gonna be a test, right? Like every team's got to deal with that. Everyone's got to be as adaptable as possible and understand that things are going to come up and there's going to be some adversity faced. And I just think that whoever faces that the best and whoever keeps that even keel mindset and doesn't let it affect them too much on and off the ice is going to be, put themselves in a good place. So every team's got to deal with it. It's just who handles it the best.
We'll go next to Kelly Moore from CJOB. Go ahead, Kelly.
Thanks, Rigger. Hey, Andrew, yesterday, your partner in crime, Adam Lowry, was talking about one of the keys tonight will be that Calgary Flames power play. I think in his words, he said, they really burned us in the series. So what kind of things should we be looking for to make that a little bit of a different scenario tonight from the Winnipeg Jets perspective on the penalty killing unit?
I think that we, have some things that we want to change in terms of just our structure. I think what we want though is just to be aggressive at the right times, to make sure that we're bearing down in front of our net, clearing pass for Helly to see the puck, clearing rebounds, and then getting clears once we get an opportunity to ice the puck. So, I think that we just got to be a little bit stronger, a little bit tougher in front of our net, smart with our aggression, and then try and put them in spots where they're a little bit uncomfortable and kind of unsure where guys are coming from. So I think it's going to be a really important part of the game and in the season for us too.
We'll go next to Jeff Hamilton from the Winnipeg Free Press. Go ahead, Jeff.
Thanks, Gregory. Hey, Andrew. You know what? You're a guy that can play on the top line. You're a guy who can play, up and down the lineup. And I see you working out here with Mark after the skate. And I'm just kind of curious, what is a trait that you need to be able to go up and down the lineup? An ability to work off guys? Why is it that some guys are viewed as able to go up and down the lineup and some seem more suited to a certain role?
I don't want to speak for anybody else, but I think what allows me to do that is one, my hockey IQ, being able to, see and watch plays develop, both defensively and offensively. And then, being able to read off line mates, knowing their strengths and weaknesses and whatnot. And then, being able to do all those things yourself, whether it is, defend against, McDavid or Matthews and in a more checking line role, or, be a piece on a top two line where, you're playing with Mark Scheifele and you got to produce offense. So, I don't know if it's any one thing to point to in particular with guys across the league, but for me, I think it starts with, just trying to be as well-rounded of a player as possible, being able to execute offensively. And then just the hockey IQ part of it is probably the part that drives it over the top for me.
And we'll go next to Ken Wiebe from Sportsnet. Go ahead, Ken.
Morning, Andrew. Just to piggyback off that train of thought, what are the keys to meshing well with Blake and Mark specifically when that opportunity does present itself?
Well, I think it's not trying to change my game to something that I'm not as well. I think, when I talk about working in the summer offensively and working on my execution, it's not so I can go end to end and dangle four guys. It's so, when, opportunities present itself in the offensive zone to get that extra foot of space to handle the puck in your feet, and to make crisp passes and finish my chances. So I think, I've done a lot of work. I'm confident in who I am as a player. I'm not going to try and change too much based on who I'm playing with. But with that said, you do know the type of line mates you have, and you want to understand that, they're looking for certain things out of me as well. So it's kind of finding that right balance between, sticking to who you are and what you're good at, but also understanding who you're playing with and make sure that they're getting something out of you, in terms of, whether it's getting the puck or going to the front of the net or just being in the right spot for guys, knowing where they need their outs. So I feel like I've had some success with both of them, both, individually, and then as a collective unit, we've had some success too. So not trying to change my game too much.
We'll go back to Paul Friesen from the Sun. Go ahead, Paul.
I'm curious how much you guys are talking about what's going on south of the border and how it's affected you as an American.
Paul, you're not going to get me talking about politics here.
All right, thought I'd try.
We'll go next to Sarah Lesky from TSN. Go ahead, Sarah.
And did you watch any of the games last night? And is there anything that stood out to you about the games?
I did watch. I think I had pieces of every game on at some point. Of things that stood out, I don't know. I think each game had its own identity almost. St. Louis was really impressive, tight checking. The Toronto-Montreal game was very, very entertaining. I mean, it felt like each game had its own identity. So I think we'll kind of see how that progresses throughout the year, especially with our division kind of a little bit of an East style versus a West style. It'll be interesting to see how that plays itself out over the course of the season.
Looks like Sarah has a follow-up to that. Go ahead, Sarah.
Just so what type of style are you anticipating, or what are you expecting early on for the game here tonight?
I don't know. Honestly, it could go a bunch of different ways. It could be a very physical, grinding type game, which I think we're comfortable in, and it could also end up being a little bit more wide open. Given the skill of each team, and kind of like the Toronto Montreal game. So I think, I'm not exactly sure what type of game is going to be played, but I do know it's going to be hard and fast, and we'll see what comes of it. Looking forward to it.
Thanks very much, Copper. We'll have Jets head coach Paul Maurice up shortly. Thanks, everyone.